Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great, wonderful day. Now, I know that this is going to be a tough story to follow and kind of cover, and it's maybe a longer video, but this because it's just extremely long. But I think this is something that you have to be that I would have to talk about. And the last video that I did didn't get very many views because I don't think very many people actually care, which is either disturbing or disgusting, or it was either limited down by YouTube or something. But regardless, it is something that I covered recently, and uh, this is called the it's called gang rape gangs or gang rape games. I mean, I'm going to censor this here, I guess. Um, and it's bad. It's really bad, and I think that people need to start understanding what's going on. And this is happening in Britain, in the UK, and I think people need to start realizing what's going on here. It's through police covering up to the all straight to the government. It's disgusting. So without further ado, my friends, let's get into it now. I will kind of zoom this in here so that everybody can see what's going on, and I will move my picture over my icon over here so everybody can kind of read it. All right. So it says, this is from Truth Justice, the rape of Britain, the cover up. The tragic true story of how upwards of 250,000 young British girls as young as 11 years old were brutally raped millions of times this century by its Muslim child rape gangs. The UK government covered it up. They were tortured, drugged, and murdered. Laura Wilson of Rotherham, South Yorkshire, in 2010 was a teenage mother at the age of 17 when she was brutally stabbed to death over 40 times in the head by Ashtik Ashgar, a Muslim who said, "I'm gonna send that kuffar non-Muslim bitch straight to hell." Sorry for all this, but I am not going to be censoring anything here. I think everybody needs to know exactly what's going on. Ashtik Ashgar threw her into the canal, but she kept fighting for her life. A pathologist's report found that the stab wounds to the head were actually done to keep her under the water. Laura was sexually groomed and abused by older Muslim men from the age of 11. Just in the town of Rotherham, there was over 1,400 children that were subjected to appalling sexual exploitation between 1997 and 2013. These horror stories are happening in every city and town in the United Kingdom, and the crimes are being covered up. Children as young as 11 years old were targeted. They were doused in petrol and threatened with being set alight. They were threatened with guns. They were made to watch their friends get violently raped. They were literally picked up at their schools by Muslims driving taxis. Their lives were threatened if they told anyone. In two other cases, 13-year-olds were kidnapped and being raped by these Muslim child rape gangs. The fathers tracked down their daughters and tried to remove them from the houses where they were being raped, only to be arrested themselves by the police. In a number of cases, the victims themselves, the children, were arrested for offenses such as breach of the peace or being drunk and disorderly with no action taken against the Muslim perpetrators of rape and sexual assault against the children. I covered this very recently before. This was one of such case. A 15-year-old child, a young girl, was in a house with 5 Muslim men who were abusing her. The police came to the house and arrested her, the child, the victim, for being drunk and disorderly. In another case, a 15-year-old girl, when she went to sanitary services, she had a glass bottle broken inside her, well, I won't say this, but where she pees from. Let's put it that way. Another victim of the Rochdale Muslim child grooming rape gangs was raped more than 100 times from the age of 12 and felt let down by the police who did nothing to stop this horror. She also revealed how police took her aborted fetus away from the DNA testing, which was just 13 years old, without telling her. She was raped continuously by up to 40 men, adding one would finish raping me and then the other one would come in, and it was just like that all night. In Telford, there were over 1,000 victims. In 2010, 16-year-old victim Lucy Lowe was pregnant when she, along with her sister Sarah, age 17, and her mother, Aileen, age 49, were burned alive in their house by Azhar Ali Mahmoud, age 25 at the time. Azhar Amelia Mahmoud was a Muslim taxi driver who started raping and grooming Lucy at the age of 13. In 2018, the deaths were linked to the exploitation of hundreds of Shropshire girls. Azhar Amelia Mahmoud was jailed for killing Lucy, along with her mother, Eileen, and her sister, Sarah, but was never arrested or charged over sex abuse. In 2022, it was reported that Detective Chief Inspector Clive Harding said that the case did not merit review for sexual abuse. Another victim who was drugged and gang raped said Lucy's killing was a warning to others who might speak out. One victim in Telford was raped more than 100 by 100 men. None of them have been prosecuted. Another victim, 13-year-old Becky Watson, was killed in 2002 in the vehicle of Ahmad Nawaz, a Muslim child gang rape member who was driving the car. He claimed it was a prank that went tragically wrong. Becky fell from the bonnet of his car near her youth, where she was killed. The car incident was labeled unexplained and a prank. No charges were filed. Vicky Round, a friend of Becky's, was abused by the same Muslim child rape gang. They were forced her into a crack cocaine addiction at age 12, and by the time she was 14 years old, she was taking heroin regularly. She died at the age of 20 after a suspected drug overdose. In Telford alone, more than 1,000 children were abused, raped, trafficked, drugged, beaten up, set on fire, and murdered by Muslim child rape gangs during decades of cover-up by the police and government authorities. Goes on here. One child was raped for 36 hours straight and nothing was done about it. These horror stories in every single town are not about sexual gratifications. This is about torture, submission, and dominance. One victim, a 12-year-old girl in West Midlands, had her tongue nailed to the table when she threatened to tell of the sexual abuse. Another victim had her head pulled back and in a kettle of boiling water held over her open mouth. In Oxford, an 11-year-old child with sex slaves describes how her trafficker, Mohammed Karar, age 38, disfigured her flesh with a heated hairpin, branding her with the letter M on her left buttock for Mohammed so people would know she was his. She was just 11 years old when Mohammed Karar bought her and loaned her to her abusers all around the country for £6,000 a year. During a 5-year period, the girl, now 18, was reportedly raped by large groups of men in what she described as torture sex. At the age of 12, she was introduced to Karar's brother Bassam, 33, who also raped her. She was sold to groups of Muslims who violently raped her in private homes and guest houses around Oxford and elsewhere. Sometimes she was injected with heroin or given date drugs to ensure she complied with the gang's sick demands. Just after her 12th birthday, the girl told Karar she was carrying his child. He allegedly beat her up and then took her to a house in Reading where she was given a backroom abortion using a crotchet hook. 7 men of Pakistani origin and 2 from North Africa are accused of 79 offenses against 6 vulnerable white British girls in Oxford. The charges include child rape, sexual trafficking, and child prostitution. They were all found guilty. These were their names. They are the Oxford Muslim pedophile ring that committed horrible atrocities against British children. Kamar Jamal, age 27, Akhtar Dagar, age 32, his brother Anjum Dagar, age 30, Assad Hassan Hussein, age 32, Mohammed Karar, Bassam Karar, Mohammed Hussein, age 24, Sishan Ahmed, age 27, and Bilo Ahmed, age 26. They are depraved monsters sentenced to life in prison. No, I don't want these guys to life in prison. I want these guys publicly executed. That's what I want. And probably the most horrific way possible, by the way. This is just a small sample of the atrocities that have been going on in Britain for over 40 years against the daughters and children of Britain. This is the greatest child exploitation and child rape in the history of Britain and has been covered up for years by the social workers, the police, the justice system, the media, and the prime ministers. They must be all held accountable. Yes, all these people should be arrested and executed for this. All of them. Every last one of them. They caused this. They did this, and they need to be paid the heavy price. And the people that were sentenced to life in prison, as I said, death. Only death. Or torture. I don't care which. In 2019, Lord Pearson of Ranich reported in the chamber that if we extrapolate nationally the J report on Northam and other reports from Telford and Oxford, there appear to have been upwards of 250,000 young white girls raped in this century, very largely by Muslim men, usually several times a day for years. In the full letter, Lord Pearson writes that 250,000 victims of the radical Muslim grooming gangs is probably an underestimate. He says that's because if you take the subject figure of 400 victims and Rotherham alone and extend it across the country, you come to a much larger figure. Indeed, Rotherham's MP, the courageous Sarah Champion, has put the figure at $1 million. $1 million of Britain raped. He went on to ask, what is the government's answer to the chief constable of Northumbria Police, who has just said that there is every likelihood that these grooming gangs are operating in every one of our major cities? What is the government doing to prosecute those in authority who turn a blind eye to all this because they were afraid of being called Islamophobic and so on? In March of 2018, Lord Pearson Ranich stated in the chamber, "My lords, I fear that reply is shamefully inadequate because these girls are usually raped several times a day. If we accept the views of our lead police officer of child protection, of Rotherham's MP, and of the recent J and Cooling reports, we're looking at millions of rapes of white and Sikh girls by Muslim men, only 222 who have been convicted since 2005. Will the government ask our Muslim leaders, no, how about this? In UK, remove the Muslim leaders. remove them and execute them because they're allowing this. Whether the perpetrators can claim that their behavior is sanctioned in the Quran and the issue to fatwa against it. Secondly, will the government encourage a national debate about the various interpretations of Islam? Can we talk about Islam without being accused of hate crime? Tommy Robinson in his speech goes into great detail in the root cause of this atrocity happening in Britain and all around Europe. Many reporters will not even speak of these atrocities because they are so graphic. One such graphic case was Mohammed Karar, who discussed earlier. His sentencing remarks were detailed in the judiciary of England and Wales. This is the sentencing remarks Honorable Judge Peter Rook QC dated June 27, 2013. The victim was assigned a anonymous initial GH to protect her identity. Ahmad Karar was introduced to GH when she was only 11. You anally raped her when she was 11. After a period of months when you groomed her, you were having regular oral, vaginal, and anal sex with her. You, Muhammad Karar, took her to various places to provide sex to others, a hotel in Bournemouth, a flat near a school in Oxford. She was taken to High Wycombe for sex on a regular basis. Sometimes there were 3 or 4 men at a session. Sometimes as many as 9 or 10. You, Muhammad Karar, repaired for her gang anal and rape by using a pump to expand her anal passage. So you showed her to gang rape by 5 or 6 men. At one point, you had 4 men inside her. A red ball was placed in her mouth to keep her quiet. Not only were you both involved in the commercial sexual exploitation of GH, you also used her for your own self-gratification. You both raped her at the same time, oral and, etc., etc. Muhammad Karar, on occasion when GH was 12, after raping her, she threatened you with your lock knife. Your action was to pick up a baseball bat with a silver metal handle, strike her on the head with it, and then insert the baseball bat inside. Where she goes pee from. You treated her as if she was your commodity. You branded her with your initial near her passage. A hot air pin. As part of the grooming, you would provide her with crack cocaine and you injected her with GH with heroin on numerous occasions. This is just one shocking, heartbreaking story of rape, torture, celery, abuse, druggery, and depravity. Why did it take so long to protect this child and bring justice to these monstrous criminals? These aren't even monsters anymore. I don't even know if monsters is the correct term because these people are demons. Actual demons. The only thing that I see fit for these monsters is death. I tell you why. Because it was a cover-up in many ways, and it's still a cover-up by the police, the politicians, the social workers, the justice system, and the prime ministers over the years. Many were involved in these crimes. Only a small fraction of these Muslim child rape gangs who groom children as prostitutes and slaves have been brought to justice. They are still committing these atrocious crimes. Detective Constable Maggie Albert was a UK police detective who was helping Operation Augusta in 2004, which was prompted by the overdose of death of Victoria Agola, age 15, a girl under the care of Manchester City Council, who reported being raped and injected with heroin by a 50-year-old Muslim man. The police operation identified at least 57 victims and 97 potential suspects, some involved with Victoria, and a compelling picture of the systematic exploitation of looked after children in the care system was established by detectives. But senior officers at Greater Manchester Police who chose to under-resource the investigation, the report said a decision was made to close it down, which was communicated to senior officers of Manchester City Council at a meeting later that day on April 22nd, 2005. However, Operation Augusta was abandoned while Detective Constable Maggie Albert was on leave in 2005. When she returned, it was as if the Operation Augusta had just disappeared, as if it had never even existed. None of the series of sexual offending have been addressed and none prosecuted. This cover-up and disgraceful criminal action by the police department caused Maggie Albert to resign from GMP, claiming that the police force had failed the victims of the Rothschild sex grooming scandal. Maggie felt betrayed, ashamed, and resigned. Since then, Maggie has become a whistleblower and a strong advocate for the victims, exposing the corruption and the cover-up of one of the biggest ongoing child crimes in UK history. Recently, Maggie Albert revealed to the world that the true reason why Operation Augusta was closed is because the 8th Prime Minister Gordon Brown sent out a circular to all police forces in the UK saying, do not prosecute these rape gangs. These children are making a lifestyle choice. Right! At the time of the circular Keir Starmer, the current Prime Minister was the Director of Public Prosecutions. Why should we expect him to do anything about it? It was part of the cover-up and corruption. Recently, there was a worldwide call for a national inquiry into the Muslim child rape gangs and their victims. People from all over the world, including politicians, victims, family members of the victims, and Elon Musk have been demanding a new national inquiry into the rape of Britain. On January 6th, Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, announced that there would be no new national inquiry. He is set to block any new national inquiry today, January 8th, by order the Labour MPs to vote against the new national inquiry. We will not take no for an answer, Keir Starmer, to the Primer MPs and to the media if politicians would not protect the children. We will cause so much noise and so much fuss that you will have to listen. We will not back down. We will not be beaten to submission. If you call us racist, far right, because we want to protect the children, we don't care. Yeah, this is what's going on here. This is the thing. This is the rape gangs. I am telling you guys, these people deserve death and only death. This is what's going on in Britain. And this is what I was talking about in my videos, which they didn't get any views. This is what I was talking about when we have these people, we have certain cultures that do not assimilate well into our countries. And this is what happens. The Muslims have no regard. Now, you could not say all of them, but if I were this country, if I was the UK and I got wind of this, and I see it was majority of Muslims doing this, I would remove every last one of them from my country because they've constantly been doing this. They do not treat women well at all in their country. Go look at Saudi Arabia and Iran and go look on how they treat their women. And then we allow them to assimilate into our own country and you expect them to act differently. They will not. These people are demons in the night. Now, are all of them like this? No. But the fact of the matter is, the fact that there's so many of them doing these gang rape gangs, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I cannot even fathom what this is. This is disgusting in every regard. And every last one of these people, officers, justices, politicians, etc., should be immediately arrested and then executed. I have made my stance, and I hope this video gets views. It probably won't, because most people don't care about this. And I think I saw somebody as well that said, why are you not getting any views? Well, I'll be perfectly honest. I think sometimes YouTube maybe shutting down or having down some of my YouTube channel stuff. Maybe that might be the reason. Or you guys or the people that are watching are not sharing enough to their friends or family or whatever. That might be the full reason. But regardless of that, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to keep doing my work. But these are things that need to be addressed, that need to be talked about. This is disgusting. The fact that we have this in society. Like, we don't want to say that we care about women. We don't want to say that there are problems against women and stuff like that. And we want to help them. But what is helping the women or the young children of this? Do the young women, girls, they're just left to die in the night, be raped forever because we don't care? Well, apparently the UK doesn't care. They will go and spout all this woke propaganda and all this other stuff like, oh, we have to care for the women, yet at the same time, they don't care. They're not doing anything, because if they did, this would not be happening. It's disgusting, and it needs to stop in that country. This is not even part of my country. This is not even, I have nothing to do with this. But I want that to stop in this country. This is completely abhorrent. This is insanity. This is absolutely insane. This is disgusting. Hopefully this video gets views. Most likely won't. I'm not holding my breath. But if there is any good type of moral people at all, if there's anybody that actually cares, maybe this video will get a couple of thousand views, maybe 20,000, maybe, who knows? But something needs to be done here. This is disgusting. And everything should be dealt with it. All right, guys, I'll leave it there. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.